What like? So, there's a video that was on the trending page on YouTube once again, and it's called Refugenes. Now, as you can see, the dislike ratio is pretty bad in comparison to the like ratio, but this video angers me for a different reason. It may very well be the same reason that a lot of these people disliked it themselves, but for me, it angers me because this whole video is about refugees, obviously, and it's got a couple of famous people giving their 2 cents as to their heritage when it comes to the terminology of a refugee. But what annoys me with this video is because the Western backed wars infiltrating all these Middle Eastern countries, which creates people that need to flee, and hence this video, when in reality there's no actual reason for these wars to be going on. It's the Western's idea, or the people behind the Western backed governments, it's their idea of what they call democracy, but we're fed the story that they're fighting terrorism. It's all started since 9/11. Now, for the genuine refugees, yeah, it's sad. I can't take that away from them. It's sad that their lives have been turned upside down. But as I've said in multiple videos, it went from taking in Syrians to half of the Middle East and half of Africa jumping on that bandwagon. So this video can try and pull the sympathy card all at once, but it's ridiculous. I mean, Syria before, Syria after. It's just one of many pictures with Americans' idea of democracy, and the West, not just America, but the West in general, and the people behind these puppet governments. This is their idea of democracy. But we're told they're fighting terrorism, when all they've done in all these Middle Eastern countries is destabilize them, steal all their assets, employ their own puppet government, and tell the public here that it's terrorism that they're fighting, when it's not. You just gotta ask yourself, the war on terrorism, to end terrorism, has done nothing but create more terrorism. Now, speaking from a logical point of thinking here, even if ISIS was really the real deal, could you really blame them? Really? After all we have done to their country, the media goes into shock and awe when ISIS supposedly killed 50 odd people here, but you don't hear about the massacres of people that have been killed in these countries with coalition airstrikes and the paid mercenaries, which is ISIS. You don't hear about that stuff. But so this video talks about refugees. It's called Refugenes. The definition of a refugee: a person who's been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's where the Syrians should come into it. But it's now gone from that to the migrant crisis. And a migrant is a person who moves from one place to another in order to find work or better living conditions. Now, that's understandable. They come from, they're not well-off countries, but it was never intended for for Europe and the UK alike and America to take in waves of civilians from multiple different Middle Eastern countries and African countries. It was supposed to be for Syrians. Syrian refugee crisis has gone to the migrant crisis. Now explain to me, what part of Syria are these guys from? What part of Syria are these guys from? You know what I mean? They're fucking African. But anyway, the reason I'm making this video here is because I'm getting fed up with people mailing me on my YouTube and calling me racist and such. But can you really blame me? When I see stories like this, I get infuriated. One migrant family's journey to benefits. Now, I'm not endorsing the word choice that any of these media outlets choose to publicate. I'm just talking about the literal quotes that come from some of these people. I mean, this guy, the local council said the couple have already rejected 3 offers or more of more spacious homes. Now, about 15 years ago, my mum rejected a house and she's never been offered one since. So how the hell are they getting 3 houses offered to them? So we have this family here that came from France, and they were living in France for a couple of years, and look how many kids they've got. It's just a joke. They're complaining that their house is not big enough. Right? I realise that the majority of these children were born beforehand, but why do you continue to procreate if you do not have the living space? You can't just expect handouts, and that's why I get so fed up of these refugees and migrants, because some of them are so ungrateful. They come over the Mediterranean Sea or wherever they go, and then they travel across Europe to the country they want to go to. They're not satisfied. The whole purpose for them being here is to supposedly fleeing war. So explain to me why the hell they are not satisfied with the country they reside in first. They can't stay there. They have no intention of staying there. And they create fuck if they don't get their own way. And it's discrimination this and discrimination that, and racism this and racism that. You know what I mean? Rejecting 3 houses because he wants a 6-bedroom house for his children. Tory MPs last night branded the family's demands shameless and accused them of making a mockery of the benefit system. But they're not the only one doing this, though, are they? Multiple different families are doing the same thing. Council chiefs have now given the Subs an ultimatum, accepting a 4th and final offer of a 5-bedroom house or face eviction from their current house. Do you know how many people in Britain would give their left arm or their right arm for a 5-bedroom house? People in Britain are lucky enough to get a 2-bedroom house at that. You know what I mean? The family live in a 140 grand house in Buckinghamshire, which costs taxpayers 15 grand a year in rent. You know what I mean? They don't work. Mr. and Mrs. Sub both have smartphones and a laptop, and the house is kitted out with a 60-inch TV, flat screen TV, Sky HD box in the front room, plus a 52-inch TV in their bedroom. What the fuck, man? The biggest TV in my house is 40 inches. How the hell are they getting that when they don't work? I know the guy's supposed to be studying, signing university or something, but regardless. Handouts! But despite this, Mr. Sub, who uses 1 bedroom as a gym and office, he uses a fucking bedroom as a gym and an office, but he's complaining that there's not enough space. Give me a break, mate. Describes it as the worst place they have ever lived and insists he has been neglected by the council. And you wonder why the fuck I'm fed up with these people. It's so cramped and conditions are terrible. My children are starting school and we can't stay here any longer. Oh, fucking cry me a river. Oh, it looks such poor conditions. Wonder how much that couch cost. Wonder how much that TV cost. The council's trying to make things hard for us. We need a 5 or 6 bedroom house with double rooms to comfortably fit our family. Go and fuck yourself. Family moved from Paris to Luton in 2012 after Mr. Sub got a place in a mental health nursing course at the university. The NHS funds the annual £9 grand cost of the 3-year degree. The family initially lived in a large 5-bedroom semi-detached house on a quiet resident road worth 220 grand. But they had to move after the landlord sold up. They were then put up for 4 months at the Hampton by Hilton Hotel at Luton at a cost of 38 grand 400. The council also paid 21 grand for the family's room service and restaurant bill after Mr. Sub refused to pay. We couldn't cook. Children were eating on the carpet. We were ordering room service, chicken and chips, Chinese food. We had to order it twice per day for all the kids and all the family. Fuck me. Wow. The council said I had to pay the bill for living in the hotel. That was very traumatising because we didn't ask them. We didn't ask for them to put us there. But if they didn't put you anywhere, you would have complained regardless. So it's a lose-lose in the council's position. The family also believed to have been put up in a second hotel, whatever. He added, Councillor Tom Shaw, who's in charge of housing at Luton Borough Council, said the Subs would be offered a new home in the next few days. If they refused it, they would be categorised as intentionally homeless. He added, if classed as intentionally homeless, they would then face eviction as they are in council-let property. It's difficult to have sympathy when there are a lot of families who would jump at the chance of moving into these properties. Fucking hitting the nail on the head there, my friend. But you know what? That's not the end of it. Syrian refugees resettled in remote Scottish island of Bute complain their new home is full of old people waiting to die. And that's not the only one. I remember a long time ago, I watched a Kim Hoxashian video and he covered a story where these migrants were complaining on some Scottish island that they couldn't get pumpkin seeds in their shop, the local shop on the island. They were upset about not getting pumpkin seeds. You know what I mean? It's difficult to have sympathy for these people. They should be grateful for what the hell they get. Really, they should be. It's just, The refugees praised the people of Scotland and said they had been made welcome, but also complained that they were unable to find work and said they felt ashamed they had to rely on the charity. Fair enough. Ab, a 42-year-old father of four, said, "I feel like I have one option now, to die here. Only die here, nothing else." The family said they felt isolated, were struggling to learn English, and there was nothing to do in the island in the Firth of Clyde. There's nothing to do. You know what I mean? Fair enough, right? Because I said there's some genuine refugees. They're complaining because they can't find work. But to sit there and complain that there's nothing to do when you've just fled war, that angers me. You know what I mean? These people do themselves no favours. It's very hard for me to conjure up sympathy for these people. Abd added, "At first, of course, I was really happy to come to the UK. It is the mother of freedom. People treated me really well. Scotland is beautiful." You're damn right it is, my friend. "I love the weather." There you go. There are some people who like this weather, and I like it. I like the winter, but for 6-7 months now, there has been nowhere to go. There was no movement. There was nothing. I'm not bored anymore. I am depressed now. You know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, like, Scottish Isles are boring as hell. But regardless, you should be grateful that you fled war, not going to the paper and complaining. That's where my anger comes in. The complaining never stops. It never, ever stops. I'll leave on this note if it ever wants to play.
Just eat, sleep, use the slow internet. It's so bad.
Just eat and sleep here. Anything other? No.
We asked them for language courses. They said we don't have it now because this is an emergency camp.
I want money, yeah. I want money because I want to smoking and telling my mother in the Syria.
In the camp service, not good.
No service. No service. No service. No service. No.
Ungrateful is the word that I think is most suitable for the majority of these people. But as I said, difference between a Syrian refugee and a Middle Eastern migrant. Look at the destruction of Syria. So I'll be damned if I'm going to donate anything to a Western-backed war. There's a simple solution. Instead of pumping out stories like this to make people feel sorry for refugees, stop the fucking wars. Peace.